Hey there, everybody. I hope you are doing well and enjoying the holidays, even with everything going on, right? I took a few days off and traveled for Christmas, and my birthday was this week as well. So I went to my magic city, New Orleans, which always feeds my soul. Just feeling amazing. So glad that I went. But I missed you guys. I missed being on here, and I'm glad to be back and get back on here and get back in the swing of things for you all, especially as we're closing out 2024, and we can't even imagine what all we're walking into in 2025, but we're going to handle it. It's going to get handled. Couple of things I was like, whoa, it never stops, right? We gotta keep our eyes always on the lookout for what the latest developments are. Really interesting, you all, what's happening with this whole Steve Bannon, Laura Loomer, kind of sort of singing off the same hymnal. And then we've got, Elania over here on the other side. So they've set off a torrent over these H-1B visas, right? And also in connection with that, I think also the idea of birthright citizenship. We're going to be hearing a lot more about that. People are, some people are calling it the MAGA civil war, or, instead of this whole enemy within and it all being about liberals and in government, it's now really starting to come to light. Hey, the MAGA faithful are realizing they're in for a world of hurt. They are in for a world of hurt. And then you had DJT come on board and say he had to make an announcement or say something in regards to Elon's conversations and posts around, the H-1B American workers, that they're trifling, they need to be replaced, they're not as smart as anybody. That's mistake. Here's what I'm wondering, and I want to go to Spirit for today. I'm getting a sense, you all, that some of this is Steve Bannon's position and Laura Loomer. We know how tight she is with Trump. That, remember, Musk's situation, he's never faithful to anybody, Trump. Never. It's only what's expedient in the moment, right? So Musk's money, influence in that regard, first and foremost, that's what was of primary need and concern. Rather than place himself in a position of coming out in ways that are oppositional to Elon, can't afford to do that, is Steve Bannon, Laura Loomer, and I feel like we're going to hear from some others, are they actually being told to put some of this out there to begin to set the stage for Trump separating himself from Elon Musk, right? Or Elon being shown the door once the money or only his source of money is not as necessary. There's a love spell that comes up. I'm using the Kipper deck for those of you who enjoy that. I don't see my cover for it right now, but it is the Intuitive Kevin's Kipper deck. Many of you like that. So we got a love spell. This was the bromance. This was the, what we've been seeing play out ever since the summer. We'll never forget that image of Elon Musk jumping on that stage and his belly out and all of that. The love spell. So that is what Spirit is speaking to right now. It comes with interesting voodoo and a love offer, right? So this is basically Spirit's just reminding us of how this whole thing came to be. That it was in another sense of voodoo, it was spell work. It was the love spell. It was the love offer. It was, I will get you, Elon to Trump, saying, I'll get you where you need to go. I can fund it. I can help you. But Spirit, please show me. Is the Bannon, Laura Loomer, are there voices that are oppositional to Elon Musk? Are those being put in place deliberately so that it can third party sitch? Third party. This is background. I'm getting the sense this is background folk, the Mar-a-Lago crew, right? The insiders, the true insiders around Mar-a-Lago are saying, one way or another, we got to take out some of the steam or some of the air from Elon Musk's sails. We got to find a way to do that and get some distance between Trump and him. So we have work labor efforts. That is exactly the topic that's happening. That's what's going to cause the division. Because remember, this whole shell game was about making working class Americans believe that by voting for Trump, they were going to get, they were going to have somebody who was really looking out for them and pulling for the working class. Clearly, that was never Elon's plan. Rich girl. That's Laura Loomer, but I'm getting a sense that there are other players behind the scene, whether it's, what's her name, Susie Wiles. There are other players behind the scenes who have Trump's ear, and they're saying, at the end of the day, this guy is not good for you. We recognize that he's been beneficial, but he's not good for you. And he's that whole President Musk kind of thing that came out. We know about that. So yes, I think Spirit is confirming here, you all. There is definitely some stuff going on behind the scenes. I've got nice guy with a mature woman and community. Yes, we're going to hear more even on the congressional level, but also I feel like this is, we're going to hear more voices in conservative circles who are recognizing that they've been duped, really, that they've been duped. And we're going to hear it in loud and clear. And it's going to come out against this notion that Americans, this whole thing was set up, America for Americans, right? In some twisted ways, we know about that. But the bottom line is they're saying they never meant this. They never meant this. They didn't mean what they said. This is a lie. They are treating us like children. And also this reminds me of Steve Bannon made that remark about Elon Musk being a toddler, getting on social media and just blah, 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 like a toddler. So, and that too diminishes the whole idea that here he is, this really powerful oligarch. Sure, is he a part of it? No question. But there's this groundswell is the word that Spirit is giving me. There's this groundswell of talk and momentum. How do we take this guy down a peg or two? And how do we begin the transition to get Trump away from him, away from his reliance on him? Big mistake from their standpoint for Trump to come out and say, okay, he's got a point about these H-1B visas. Just not going to happen. So yeah, look for that. I think that we're going to have some more voices that are going to start to be heard in conservative circles that are anti-Elon Musk. And at a certain point, Trump is going to have to, he's going to have to pick his team. And right now, it looks like, of course, he's still got to be more aligned with Elon. But that's going to change, you all. I also want to look at quickly January 3rd. Now, that's when Mike Johnson is up at bat. And we've got some conservatives, Freedom Caucus folks and stuff coming around saying, we're not digging him. We're just not digging him. He's already shown he's absolutely out of his depth. He is not a good leader. He sold his soul. He decided whatever he was told to do by Donald Trump, then those were his marching orders, and that's what he was going to do. Having done so, he's lost whatever bit of shreds of respect that he had within the House as Speaker. The only reason he kept his job this long was because Trump came to his rescue earlier this year when MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and some others were ready to kick Mike Johnson to the curb. But we've seen this. The issue is if they say, you know what, we're not feeling you, dude, you got to go, the clock is ticking in terms of, if there's a moving forward with Trump to be inaugurated on the 20th. So I want to look at two things. I want to look at, is Mike Johnson going to be confirmed as House Speaker? Because Trump so far has been pretty silent on the issue. The idea is he's hanging him out to dry. He's letting him sweat it out. But if it serves his interest, if it's in Trump's self-interest to save Mike Johnson, he may come out within the next few days. Time's ticking. Time is ticking. That's got to happen. What is that? When is the 3rd? The end of this week? Yeah. Yeah, that has to happen. What, Friday is the 3rd? So there's the relationship between the two of them. Is this Trump trying to preserve that relationship for right now, just for the time being? Oh, you know what I just heard? Because endings. Okay, here we go. So, if Trump does jump in and try and save him for the 3rd of January later this week, just to get him through the gates so that he can stay on track, presumably, for Jan 20th. Remember, the bill that they passed to keep the government open is only good until what, March 14th, I think. So, distant future. And I don't think this is the too distant future. Spirit, I've got a timing deck here. Something told me to pull this timing oracle deck. Spirit, will Mike Johnson be outed or voted out? Will he be kicked out of his position by March of this year? Let's see if we can get some timing going here. The Spirit is saying sometime in the future, being a little cagey. I noticed that 4 on there as well, though. So that would be April. And that would sort of make sense, because if the fight over the bill, if it has to be passed in March and it's still going on, next week looks promising. That's an interesting message. And a waste of time. That's a waste of Mike Johnson's time. Time is against him. He is out one way or another. And it says here, you have the power to create the timing by taking action. Remember, in the context of this reading, we're looking at what the House is going to do. Freedom Caucus members, as well as other conservatives who have started to turn the tables. We already know Hakeem Jeffries has come out and said, don't count on Democrats anymore to save your butt. Specifically to Mike Johnson and in general to the GOP, right? So I think that's there. Next week looks promising. I'm almost feeling like that Spirit saying there may be, Trump stepping in at the 11th hour to try and save Mike Johnson for the January 3rd situation. But after that, he's up for grabs. And there will be action taken within the House, because they know that they can't count on Mike Johnson to really be one of them. And here's the karmic masculine that shows up behind the veil, you all right? So behind the veil, the secrets being revealed, the karmic masculine. Mike Johnson is going to be made an example of. The idea, yes, you can do everything that Trump tells you to do. You can be his best little boy you ever wanted to be, and look what will still happen to you despite that. That's the message that's coming for them, all right? That's coming for him, Mike Johnson. And the thing is, who at this point would want to put themselves in that position of speaker, right? Who would want to do it? Because no matter who steps in, they're basically going to be put in that same vice of having to declare their allegiance to whatever Trump wants. For the time being, Trump/Musk wants, but that's coming to an end as well. We can see that already starting to disintegrate. So, January 20th. I gotta go to tarot for this one. Will there be an inauguration on January 20th? Not even going to ask inaugurating who. Hurts, there's still some groundswell out there around challenging all of this, according to some constitutional issues and some revelations that have come to light, I believe, in Nevada and some other places around the legitimacy of the vote, the machines being tampered with, etc. But, it's like we've all been sitting on pins and needles basically the whole month of December, waiting for this to either through Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or some other mechanism to really bring this to light and put up the fight. And here we are heading, sure enough, clock ticking into January. So not giving up on that. Spirit is telling me timing. It's all about timing. And we can't second guess that. But I am asking, will there be an inauguration on January 20th? because so much of what happens, as we know, on January 3rd depends on that. You don't have things in place to confirm the election. Boom, there it is, right? So, shuffled, and the first thing at the bottom of the deck is the devil, none other than, comes with strength right beneath it. So I'm not going to ignore that. And the third card beneath that is the Tower. Ooh, ooh. It's going to get crazy. Because the devil is saying there's almost an irresistible urge, that thirst for power, that thirst to continue to pull the wool over the conservatives in Congress in eyes, not just the MAGA faithful, right? But this is sort of that internal workings to try and say, look, calm down, I'm still your boy, I'm still here for you. So that's what the devil is saying. But then there's this strength and tower. You all, there's a genuine tide turning, and I think we see this, and I'd love to hear your comments and get your reflections on this. Again, this is a community that I use my channel for. I value your opinions. But this strength and tower coming together feels like there's a breaking apart and a breakthrough of strength, because there are those members in conservative members, MAGA kind of guys, and women, women for that matter, in Congress, who, Marjorie Taylor Greene comes to mind, who are teetering on wanting and needing to take some of their own power back, what they perceive as power, taking it back, not wanting to just stand in line, get along to be in line with everything. There's the Two of Wands. That's a different focused vision going forward, because you know what? They see that the proverbial shite is about to hit the fan, and they don't want. Their eyes are on 2026. Thank you for that reminder, Spirit. Their eyes are on 2026 and not wanting to see those losing congressional seats. It is already so much more razor thin and tight than they expected coming out of the November elections. They really thought that they were getting ready to walk away with it, with this red tide, and it didn't happen, you all. So January 20th, will there be an inauguration? I don't know. It's looking funky. It's really looking funky, you all. Eight of Pentacles, trying to keep the wheels on the bus. Six of Swords, how the heck are we going to pull this off and go forward? And the Hierophant for government, like the actual system of government in the United States, looking like what in the world? The Ten of Wands, breaking, being overburdened, being like it's too much. January is going to be extremely interesting, and with again, they're reminding me, with Hakeem Jeffries and other Democratic leaders in the House having said, don't look at us to save you this time. It's not happening. That is going to play a crucial role, because how do they, if they get 2 or 3 defections, and anybody coming away from this and saying, that strength in that Tower card, no, we're not playing this game. We're taking some of our power back. We don't like the way we are being treated. This is not what we signed up for. This is not what, at the end of the day, government wants to be government. And so this whole idea of, draining the swamp, they're talking about draining us. We were not supposed to be a part of the swamp. Watch and see. It's going to get very, very interesting, you all. All right. Having said all of that, I do want to encourage us. Maybe I should have said this at the start of the tape. I recognize that for those of us who are fighting for democracy, who believe in freedom, etc. I just heard Kamala Harris, as I said that, and when we fight, we win, to use her phrase on the campaign trail. There are many people on this platform and others who are starting, just feeling so anxious that it's like, why bother? If we can't get hard and fast predictions and have something to look forward to and know that we're going to, ultimately come out of this okay, then why bother? And what I'm feeling, first of all, as someone offering content on YouTube and other platforms, is we can't give up, you all. For me personally, as a woman of color, I've been thinking a lot about in my soul, and even while I was in New Orleans this week, my ancestors. I kept seeing visions of people being, battered with hoses, and dogs being bitten by dogs, rights movement, being spit on, being tortured, being thrown in jail, like so much that people went through to try, not just people of color. We know that the reason the civil rights movement was successful was because people from all walks of life, all races, all ethnicities came together, recognizing the need and the belief in and the faith in true democracy and liberty and freedom and justice for all. I'm getting a sense, certainly speaking for myself and maybe speaking to many of you, we're too far in, and we owe it to the people who risked so much, who literally, endured bodily harm just to go out and protest, just to fight for the rights that we do still currently enjoy. So just think about that, you all. Whether you watch me or whether you watch others on these platforms, these places are places where we can gather, where we can continue to share our voices, where we can, get strength from one another, keep the faith with one another. So just think about that as we move into 2025. We're going to need each other, and we are stronger together. All right? That's enough. Don't want to be preachy. Just wanted to say that. And I'm really glad to see you all, be back here with you. And I'll talk to you again real soon. Take good care out there. All right? Be good. We got this. Breathe. I haven't been saying that lately. Remember to breathe. Shoulders back. Relaxed. We got this. All right? We got this. We're covered. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.